everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. This is my weekly show where you get to see progress on what I've been working on, see some of my upcoming things, and generally just get to encapsulate how entirely ridiculous the amount of stuff that I have to build still is. So today you're going to get to see some terrain from MC Studios, some Malifaux stuff, some Mordheim miniatures, oh what else, some new cool stuff for This Is Not a Test, and some terrain from Small Terrain Company. So let's take a look at what I've worked on this week. So here's the first bit of stuff I actually got done. It's Nekima. She is the true mother. That's Lilith's evil sister that thinks she should be in charge of Malifaux and all the Nephilim. And 3 Silurids. Now, if you've been looking at the background of my On the Paint Table sort of like pan-in shot in the beginning, these miniatures have been sitting on that shelf since I took that photo, which is almost a year ago. So yeah, a good amount of time that these went unpainted and sat there, and I figured I'm playing some Malifaux games on Sunday. I should get some Malifaux stuff done, even if I don't use it in the game, because I don't know what the missions will be yet, obviously, because you flip strategies and schemes later. They're handy to have. Silurids are always good. Nekima's just amazing at murder, and it gets some stuff off my unpainted, assembled but unpainted pile. I also got these ruins from the Small Terrain Company done. Now, if you want to check them out, there will be a Widgets and Wonders on them tomorrow where you can see them up close and see some of the details and stuff on them. But these were primed with some Rust-Oleum primer, same thing I've primed these buildings in the background in. Then airbrushed some grays and browns, dry brushed, and that was basically it. They were sealed with some dull coat afterwards. There is a roof for this, but because I wanted to be able to take the floor off, it doesn't, you have to actually glue it in to get it to stay. And so what I did was I just left it off so that I could have guys go in and out and pull the floor off too. And that's what got done. So about 8 pieces of stuff got painted this week, all start to finish. So it was in progress. So here's some of the stuff that didn't quite get finished. I've got Bad Juju in the background there. It's basically the rest of the Zoraida box. Her totem, which is the, what is it called? The voodoo doll. And then her herself. You can see the airbrushing on there that I did. He's got some base coats and washes. The rest of them are just basically the way they are, burnt umber, and then some purples that I started off with. I have my Widow Weaver. She finally got assembled after sitting on my desk forever. And she'll get painted at some point soon too. And then future projects, I guess, sorry, let's just finish the work in progress. This is my test scheme for my pulp buildings from MC Studios. Now, much like the Infinity ones you saw, the M4 Outpost, these are heavy laser cut card. So they feel a lot like MDF, but they are a lot lighter to ship, a lot lighter to actually pick up, but they are full boxes, so top to bottom, they are completely enclosed, which makes them super duper robust, and these are gonna get used for pulp games, they'll be used for zombie games, and of course, This Is Not a Test, and Batman too, eventually when we get to Batman. So this is the fire station. This is one of the 3 sort of like big building kits that they produce. Mark's made a fire station. This is the hotel, the Art Deco hotel, and this is the stone mansion right here. There's also an accessory like sprue that I haven't built yet, which has like park benches, fences with like spikes on top, a fountain, and other cool street scene stuff. But I wanted to get the big lumps of terrain finished first before I started working on those. And that's kind of all the work in progress. Let's look at some future stuff. So these 3 hard to find fellows right here are part of a swap I did with Emil. And I gotta say congrats to Emil because he just had his first child. He is frantically, I guess, painting in between feedings, naps, and diaper changes right now. So congrats, buddy. And thanks again. I'm glad, I hope you can get those dregs painted that I sent you and that you enjoy them. And I'm super excited to have some Beastermen in my classic Possessed Warband, along with the Possessed Mini that I have too. I'm just looking for the alternate, what is he? The alternate Warband leader, the alternate Magister, and one of the Dark Souls. And I think I have everything for them now. So I'm pretty excited about that. These are great models and they're gonna get painted super soon. I also got some minis in early from Joey at World Ends Publishing for This Is Not a Test. The Wasteland DJ, it's Johnny Atomic right here. Oh my God, he's a cool mini. He's got like the best chops in the biz. Little gas mask, is like radio, which is like fully a Fallout radio right there. Big transistor tube radio and his big mic too. I'm really excited to paint this guy. He's super cool and he's gonna be a new freelancer type in the This Is Not a Test sort of like new expansions and stuff coming for the game for all stretch goals. And then I got the Raider bot, which is gonna go nicely with some minis you're gonna see on the ground here in a second. He's basically a Dependo bot that's been taken by raiders and made, I don't know, evil. So he's got like a buzzsaw arm, gun arms, and he's generally just been kind of made scary with, I guess, hockey mask accessories and goggle eyes. He's super duper cool. I'll paint him to go along with my military one as an alternate Dependo bot, just with like extra weapon configurations, but he's really neat looking. And we got the Medibots, and this is gonna get painted actually for my Enclave Warband because I'm currently using what is it? A Brother Vinny Protectron as my Medibot, but having an actual Medibot mini is going to be super cool. So he's going to get painted too for some games next week with that. Then I got some samples from Lands of Ruin. They're a hybrid, one of these hybrid miniature games that does iPad gameplay along with miniatures for an actual game. And they'd produce some prototypes they sent along to check out. So there's some guys in bomb vests here. They look like slaves, but they'd also make cool kind of probably wasteland zombies and stuff too, so I'll probably paint them up as a mix, looking kind of undead. And this guy who's kind of a controller, he's got kind of a, what is it, a Caesar's Legion thing going on from Fallout, and he's got like a shock prod, a little wrist gun, and I think he's supposed to have one of these guys on a chain, which is pretty crazy, but they're nice. They are all resin casts, and I'll show them to you again when they're painted. Last but not least, these are super cool. If you've never seen these before, I just want to show them off. Joey sent me these two because I'm actually going to be recording a new scenario, which is from his demo pack called Tanks for Everything. I think it's Tanks for Everything? Yeah, Tanks for Everything. Tanks, something, it was a tank pun, the name of it. But it's basically you're trying to heist water. And he found these blue resin cast water bottles. So they're water coolers and then water bottles, and they're gonna make great objective markers. And he sent some along just to help me out because I've never seen them before. And I'll be using them as objectives too, so you'll see them when they're all painted and based. So there's some of the upcoming stuff on my paint pile. So there you go, my on the paint table for this week, taking a look at what's been done. Again, I was very sooty and covered in glue and building a lot of scenery this week. So it's weird, I always feel like I didn't get a lot done the weeks when I assemble a ton of scenery. In the last couple weeks, I've assembled, oh man, just a completely bananas amount of scenery. And the problem with scenery is, for me, I have to paint it at the studio. So it's slower to get done. And the assembly is such a huge part of it that I like to knock out as much of it as I can as quickly as I can so that I can finally get to painting it. Once I get to the airbrushing stage, it's relatively quickly, but because it's so big, I can't take it home. I take miniatures home to paint when my kids sleep. So it gets piled through and then it piles up again and then it gets piled through over time. So scenery is one of those things that when I get a chance, I try and knock out a whole bunch of it, and then that kind of eats up my miniature painting for the week. So instead of going home and painting at night, I'll come and I'll paint a bunch of it here. But I'm excited to have it done. More scenery means more cool looking things on the table. I'm excited to try out some new stuff from Malifaux too. We'll see when this other stuff gets done next week. Until then, I'm Ash. Happy